Are you a new player or are you a returning player to Anime Vanguards? Hearing the hype, you learn into the game not knowing what to do? If so, then this video is for you. And in today's video, I'll be guiding you guys to have a general idea on how to progress in this game, what units to go for, and some tip and tricks you guys should know when playing AV. And I just want to say, I didn't expect that reroll guide to do so good. You guys went crazy with that one, for sure. And yeah, I don't want to hold you guys for too long, so make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's try to hit 8,000 subscribers by the end of April. I'm not going to get into too much detail about everything. I'm just here to put you in the right direction, like I said in my intro. All right, cool. And the first thing I want to talk about, whether you're a new player or a returning player, is Anime Vanguards hard. Here's the thing with that, right? Anime Vanguards can be hard if you make it hard. Yes, there is hard content within the game, but if you have knowledge over how a unit works, right? Because the thing is with Anime Vanguards, what separates them from a lot of these tower defense games is that whether they're full AoE, circular AoE line, or they're doing a billion damage, right? That doesn't determine the unit's capability, right? Because you know, if we were to go to like Anime Last Stand or Anime Avengers, right? If they're not full AoE hybrid doing a million damage, you know, every 2 seconds, we deem those units automatically mid or bad, right? With Anime Vanguards, they have these things called passes, which you have probably seen in most tower defense games by now, but forgot where I was going. But yeah, for example, if I were to bring up Alucard, you know, this is his passive. Alucard is a release character, right? So his DPS is horrible for the current meta, but Alucard is still meta support because 1, he's a cheap full AoE, and 2, he applies bleed, which cancels out regen, and 3, he can apply a new effect called wounded, making the enemies take 20% more damage. This is what makes Alucard still meta support to this current meta, you know what I'm saying? And we're almost on update 5, you know? Another example would be Gojo. Gojo is a update 1 character, right? And when he was first released, he was seen to be the strongest unit in the game currently, right? Because not only is Gojo full AoE, he's immune to status elements, which makes it immune to pretty much everything. And then he has Infinite Void, which has a 60-second cooldown, as you can see here, which makes him still meta support to this day, right? Even if his DPS falls off, that full AoE time stop plus that minute cooldown is what makes Gojo viable, you know what I'm saying? So now that you got a gist of what I'm talking about with the passive, now we're about to go over a tier list. The tier list is essentially made for new players, but if you're a returning player, you can go ahead and look at that. Now, I will say this, right? The tier list is not scaled off their evolution capabilities, right? The tier list is just to give them a gist of what to go for, right? If they want to see what unit is meta DPS, this and that, there's an Anime Vanguard wiki tier list. Plenty of content creators make tier lists. My tier list is just to give you a general idea of who to go for, you know? Because now in the current state of the game, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, you can be overwhelmed whether you're a returning player or you're a new player, right? All right, guys, just so I don't bore you guys, I'm gonna have some random game playing in the background, but I'm gonna be providing screenshots from top to bottom, right? While you guys just listen along. So starting with the top, we have Vanguards that are currently obtainable, right? And the reason why, even though I said that I'm not ranking them off their EVA capabilities, some of these sections are situational. So with the Vanguards, Gogeta is easier to get than Vanguard Sun Jin Woo if you're a new player, right? Because you can hit level 10, you can do 1 summon and get Gogeta. While with Vanguard Sun Jin Woo, you have to have someone be you have to be an in-game player essentially, right? And if you don't have high level friends to carry you through the dungeon, you're gonna have a hard time clearing out those ant kills regardless, right? So that's why I have Vegeta ranked higher than Sun Jin Woo in this instance, right? Again, I'm not scaling off their capabilities. This is just a general idea, right? And next I have is in-game tier list, right? Now for in-game, there's no particular order. These are just all the units I deem to be in game. You know, for yhwach, you have your global rifts that happen every 3 hours. You have Yamamoto, which can be attained from Legend Stage Act 3 of Spirit Society. You have Aizen, who is a banner unit, but to evolve him, that's sort of in game. But I'll give you a tip on how to evolve him quicker, right? Later on in the video. Next is Salter and Sakura, right? The newest boss rush that happened. And then you have Gilgamesh and Ragnar, right? Now to get Gilgamesh, I will provide some videos down below in the description so you can watch those. And then Ragnar, you get them from the winter portals, right? That is what I deem in-game unit, essentially, right? Now for mid-game guys, I have Gojo at first because Gojo is someone you should have evolved on your team because he's a really good unit. If I were to change anything about mid-game, I'll move Ichigo above Lancer and below Saber, right? Saber is insane. She has a local cooldown called Excalibur that gives her 300% more damage. You have Lancer, upgrade 7, he's able to nullify bleed completely, or he's able to nullify regen completely, which is crazy. Kisuke, he's the mythic version of Alucard. I don't think it's fully elite, but he does essentially the same thing as Alucard, right? Then there's Sukuna, you know, then the rest just writes it out, right? Now I'm gonna try to go through the rest of these sections because I don't want this section of the video to be too long. But now the next section is what I want the new players to focus on generally. And the reason why I have Vegeta ranked highest, right, as a starter unit, is because when you first start the game now, right, you're getting a Vegeta as a starter mythic unit, and it's really easy to evolve, right? Now, this section, there is no particular order. The only reason why Alucard is placed last as a starter unit because you are less likely to pull Alucard. But if you were to get Alucard early game, he requires no takedowns, which makes him viable for this tier list, right? So cool. Now for sub starters, right? I think this is really good ranking for sub starters. The only thing I would rank higher is Ramen Ran because she is a full AoE unevolved, which is really insane. Choso, you know, backup bleed, Bean backup bleed, Goku Black able to execute enemies after a certain amount of HP, insane. And then you have Don't Bother, right? These are some of the mythic units I would skip out on if they were in banner. I wouldn't even bother to get them, right? And then here are your farms, pretty self-explanatory. Now here's your support, right? Now, again, this is not ranked off the capabilities, right? I just saw that their support, I put them in tier list, right? So you can just soak that in, right? And then the next section is the D list. Nothing to really say there. Then you have your tournament units, and then you have your unattainable units, right? So yes, and the reason why I put these units at unknown is so that you don't have to worry about them, right? There's no way for you to get them. They're gone. It's over. Now guys, I do apologize if that segment was a little too long. I just decided to get the units out the way first just to give you guys a general idea of who to go for and this and that. Once again, last time I say it, if you want to see how good a unit actually is after evolution capabilities, I suggest watching a tier list video. Next is that I'm gonna give you guys guidance on what to do, right? If I were to make a new account right now on AV, the first thing I would focus is the winter event. Now, as you can see here, I have 7 ice portals. This is essentially how you get Ragna. But the thing with the winter event is that you're able to get 200 free rerolls just from the winter event, right? And you don't even have to grind the winter event. You can easily go to the AFK chamber and AFK present to get these rerolls. But what I would suggest doing is going for all of these units that's in this banner, right? Especially Ramen Ran. She's a really good starter DPS unit to have. Like I said earlier, she's a full AoE unit. And if you're lucky enough, man, you can get Gogeta, right? So that's what I will focus on first. And if you're not a high enough level to clear out tier 10 portals, you can go to the Discord server, go to the portal channel. There are plenty of people who are looking for leechers, right? So all you gotta do is turn on the time test and go AFK and collect those prizes, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would do if I was a new player. And then I will focus on love portals, right? You can leech easily because you are getting an additional 100 reloads here. And then Giselle buffs summon unit, so he's a really good unit to have, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing I will focus. And then right after that, I would focus on Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh is the exclusive that is leaving within this within the next update. You can pause to read this, but this is basically his passives, and since I have Monarch on him, he's really good in my opinion, right? He's worth it. Then as a new player, right, or returning player, once I clear out those 3 things off my list, then I will focus on story. So like, if your main goal is to get, you know, Vanguards Sanjinuru, that's fine, you know. I would go to Double Dungeon Legend Stage Act 3, farm that to get Igris, or if I wanted Yamamoto, I would go to Spirit Society Act 3, get them that way. Or say you just want to clear achievements, you know what I'm saying? In order to clear out the achievements, you need to do a nightmare difficulty, which is up to you, right? I would focus on boss events. You can easily leech on this, but then after that, I will focus on boss events, right? And well, you don't have to be a high level to do this, but this leaves weekly, right? It resets weekly. Just from boss rushes, you're getting 40 rerolls every week, right? Now, for instance, right? Say if you're trying to evolve Gojo or Sukuna, since it is the Shibuya boss rush, you're able to farm kills for Itadori, because that's the evo requirement. 2, these curse fingers are needed because if you go to your curse shop, you need fingers to buy the 6 eyes and then rerolls here. So that is something I would do. And then once I've done all of that, I would just focus on getting meta units, saving gems, clearing out the other shops, right? And the reason why I'm not going over rerolls that much is because I already made a reroll guide video, which helped a lot of people. And if you want to watch that video, that'll be in the description down below as well too. All right, guys, now it's time for tips and tricks that I would tell a new player, right? The best way to get gold and the fastest way to get gold, in my opinion, is to leech. So if you leech off the love portals, right, you're able to buy this 50 times, right? And this gives you a total of I believe 500,000 gold just from doing this, right? Yeah, there's other ways like selling units or doing infamous, but the most effective way is to clear out the shops, bro. for gold. Now, another tip I would give you guys is world skippers, right? AV doesn't have world skippers, but here's the thing. Say you're a new player, right? And the DBZ update is happening, but you don't want to grind the other story to get to the update. All right, guys, as you can see, I am on a brand new account here just to show you guys this. Yes, this is my Noob to Pro account. You guys will probably be seeing the video on this later, man. But the thing I want to showcase is that you don't have to beat the previous story to do the new content, right? If I want to start on Spirit Society right now, I can start on Spirit Society without a problem. The next tip I would give you guys will probably be for Aizen, right? Say if you did put Aizen early game and you see how he needs 3 evolved units from his update to like unlock his evolution piece. The best way and the most effective way to do that is to wait for it Orihime Banner to be in middle. Since she requires 0 takedowns, she is easy to evolve. And the reason why I didn't have her on the easy evolve takedown list on my tier list is because she doesn't attack. I didn't want to tell you to, oh yeah, go for this unit. You get her because of my video and she doesn't attack, right? She's mainly support, just to clear air for that. And another thing is the Essence Stone grind, right? Another tip I can tell you about that is that you don't have to farm legend stages like brainlessly for that. You know, your gold merchant provides you with Essence Stones that you can buy daily. You have your challenges. And again, bro, every single shop is selling Essence Stones that you can have, right? But the most effective way for me is farming winter portals, because those gift boxes you get gives you Essence Stones and rerolls. So if you're lucky enough, you can stack up that way. That's what I do, right? If I'm running out Essence Stones, I would just farm winter portals, max out everything again, and that's what I would do, right? But then again, guys, I don't want this video to be too long. This video was just to give you guys a general idea of what to do. But other than that, guys, if this guide helped you, and if this video can get 50 likes, I would do a double upload today, right? Because I haven't uploaded in a while. But other than that, guys, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, peace.